no one did more to make movies the art of youth than Jean-Luc Godard, who was born in 1930, in Paris, and died on Tuesday, at his home in Rolle, Switzerland, by assisted suicide. Godard's films of the 1960s, starting with his first feature, Breathless, inspired young people to make movies in the same spirit in which others started a band. His works, political thrillers, musical comedies, romantic melodramas, science fiction, often more than one per year, moved at the speed of his thought, transformed familiar genres into intimate confessions, and made film form into a wild laboratory of aesthetic delight and sensory provocation. He put his own intellectual world into his movies with a collage-like profusion of quotes and allusions, and cast the people in his life as actors, as stars, or as icons. Working fast, he alluded to current events while they were still current. But it wasn't just the news that made his films feel like the embodiment of their times, it was Godard's insolence, his defiance, his derisive humor, his sense of freedom. More than any other filmmaker, he made viewers feel as if anything were possible in movies, and he made it their own urgent mission to find out for themselves. Where Hollywood seemed like a distant, cosseted, and disreputable dream, he made the first-hand cinema, the personal and independent film, an urgent and accessible ideal. Godard was also one of the crucial media artists of the 60s, who, no less than the Beatles or Andy Warhol, recognized the echo effects of celebrity and art, and united them in his cinematically and socially transformative activities. He confessed to likening his own artistic and personal career arc to Bob Dylan's, yet, like many artistic heroes of the 60s, Godard found that his public image and his private life, his fame and his ambitions, came into conflict. He took drastic measures to escape from his legend while pursuing and advancing his art in ways that baffled many of his devotees and those in the press who awaited nothing more than his comeback, especially to those styles and methods that had made him famous. In the late 60s, he withdrew from the movie business under the influence of leftist political ideology and activism. In the 70s, he left Paris for Grenoble and then moved to the small Swiss town of Rolle. When he returned to the industry, he did so by way of exploring his personal life and the history of cinema together, through an ever more audacious deployment and reconception of new technologies. What he retained to the very end of his career, his final feature, The Image Book, was released in 2018, was his sense of youth and his love of adventure. In his old age, he remained more playful, more provocative, and simply more youthful in spirit than younger filmmakers.